I'm no tenured archivist, but that sounds dangerously unstable. Oh well.
You have tuned your receiver to Grand Plan Wireless. We verify before we amplify.
Make your desired outcome be a probabilistic certainty with Pinnacle Vegetable Expulsions.
You enjoyed our casts. Now try our expulsions. From the Order of the Ascendant. In times of peril, remind yourself, contentment is found by accepting your role in the grand plan. Understanding your place, knowing your course, removes all worry and doubt. Avid followers of our predictive playlists are already aware of which song follows. Interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical clues? Visit your local predictory.
Threat detect.
Indelibly eradicate algorithmic dissonance.
Anyone else hear that? No? Just me then.
Can you give me an example that is true? Of course. The number when you square the root of 2. Explain. An isosceles right triangle. The smaller sides are measured both as one. The length of the longest side then cannot fully be expressed by anyone. Are there any numbers you can name us? Are there any numbers that are famous? The ratio known as golden. It is written as the Greek letter pi. From the Fibonacci set beholden, second only to the number known as pi. Pi is a worldwide phenomenon. Attempt to square a circle and you'll need it. Don't confuse it with its homonym sibling. It's a number you cannot eat it. They're irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is mishmashinal. What's a number that has no ending? A number that we call confirming. A mathematics man named Euler. His work was as genius and astounding. This number you see as a lowercase e to calculate with interest compounding. Irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is irrational.
determined you're listening to Grand Plan Wireless. For transpiring events, philosophical profundities, informed insight into the future, also music. Questions, questions, questions. Today we have 3 questions for our youth-adjacent layperson liaison, Vicar Magsaisai, in this installment of Ask a Vicar. First up in our trilogy of queries, I am currently working as a statistical analyzer, but I feel I've missed my calling as an analytical statistician. How might I switch careers?
I receive such queries regularly. Based on a method known as merged spline interpolation, one solution would be to engage in both professions. Just be careful to avoid Runge's phenomenon of convergent oscillation. Of course, you already know how to circle simple
I
polynomial
trust that is the sound of science going exceptional.
Second query, should I have another offspring? I already have 2 of them.
Exceptionally well.
It requires more elaborate mathematics than I can
Path
perform
to
in the moment, but
ascendancy is
here's a
normally
general calculation based
so
on the
it says.
desired
Good
procreation rate of 2.3 offspring per couple. Calculate the sum of the children in the first 5 couples that live to your left, and add to it the sum of the children in the first 5 couples that live to your right. If this total sum is less than 23, you should have another child. If the sum is greater than 23, you should not have another child. If the sum is exactly 23, you should move to a new neighborhood and repeat the experiment.
Vicar, do these headphones make my posterior look overly substantial?
No, those bandolas do not appear as a term in the antecedent of that statement. Instead, other terms are leading to the validity of that assertion. Thank you for listening. If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. Things to come have a way of constantly happening. The future is colliding with the present every moment.
Hard to get in a good sleep cycle. These constant.
And now a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
It's filled but not she.
If you're done, evaluating my work and all settings are final, enter the terminal command to void the oxygen.
Did it work? Did it work? See, was it a success? What happened?
Hold the applause just yet. I need to run the numbers. I'm sending the others back up to you. They can describe the proceedings in detail.
I shall await their arrival. Anchor's Brun out. That is how these messages end, yes? If not, farewell.
The results of the experiment will be a career-ending embarrassment for Anchoress Brun. But she won't accept this lightly. We'll need to do more.
Yes, our next steps here will be crucial. I know this type of mission well. Granted, my targets were always meticulously well-researched beforehand.
You'll need to convince her, destroy her logic, end this research for good. All it requires is a forceful array of incisive argumentation, logical reasoning, coercive persuasion, and cognitive contortioning.
You mean one of our old brain-off maneuvers? Really? That's what the rank and file in our old department used to call it. Provost Bolding considered it a casual moniker unbefitting of an order scientician.
Make Brun give up on science, logic, and reason entirely. Then no one will ever dare continue the research again. Between you and Marisol, it should be...
A brain-off against an order anchorite isn't entirely without risk. We could employ certain other methods to deal with her. From our former department's playbook.
Oh, yes, a book you wrote titled Making an Execution Look Like an Accident. Despite the moral quandary ideally involved, unseen consequences still abound.
That's hyperbolic at best. Data suggests significantly fewer unpredicted outcomes than outright murder, if properly executed. And I'm quite capable of skewing results in our favor.
And here I thought you'd begun to change.
Seen folk wrestle with logic, but not box with logic. I'm ready for a show.
Success isn't guaranteed. A fair degree of cleverness is required. But you would have the help of someone reasonably intellectually nimble.
I would be willing and on hand to assist, and the other option would remain if we botch it. I'm not arguing it's the best option, just that it is an option. Rightly or wrongly, I am familiar with the cost involved.
The Order of the Ascendant should be dedicated to uplifting humanity, not racking up a body count unduly. Our former department was shut down for things like this. Seems reasonable. Appreciate you listening. Murder shouldn't be our first option here. Too many drawbacks, both mathematically and ethically.
Honestly, I'm relieved as well. I have been trying to be different. From the person others believe me to be.
From the legend? If you're retiring as the Endpoint, we'll need to find you a colorful new sobriquet. Typical argumentation may prove useless, and she'll likely see through most attempts at deception. Be clever, unpredictable, surprise her. But in the event you should fail, you'll need a viable backup plan, or it will erase any chance of success completely. The Anchoress is housed in a test chamber similar to this one. It's been refurbished with some rather tacky furniture, but much of the old experimental apparatus remains. There is a hatch near the elevator upstairs. An external ledge leads to a vent system that can connect the two chambers. Doing so will expose the Anchoress to a lethal atmosphere. I'll need to make an announcement afterward that an accident has occurred tied into the experiment.
For an extemporaneous plan, it's not a bad one. What if the Anchoress realizes what we're doing and calls for help?
I'll cut off her comms when she begins pleading. Oh, that sounds even more heartless when I say it out loud. Please choose wisely. Here's the hatch key in case you need it. May all your endeavors elicit expected results. And Marisol, do keep out of trouble.
Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, deduce it. Show us how it works. What's a basic proof?
There you are. You saw the experiment through to the end, yes? The data hasn't arrived yet, so please do tell. Was it as beautiful as I imagined? Any inklings to the result? Or perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me everything.
A very proven proof. That is how it
What? No! It couldn't. Wait. Really? In what way? I fail to see how. Well, I suppose one could argue the test was inordinately complex, and with overmuch intricacy, errors are bound to occur. This was just a start. Such models typically make an enormous amount of errors at first. All quite expected. An anticipated setback, nothing more. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say. I'm not sure if that was so smart it sounded unintelligible, or, well, the contrary. But I glean some logic out of there. Somewhere. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for all this doom and gloom. Oh, is one of you a seer now? Because I put considerable more stock in the prognostications of the Order's prime mathematicians than I do any old run-of-the-mill soothsayer. Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujold's research, which is quite brilliant. Really? Will I become a laughingstock among my peers? Have the whispered jeers begun already? No. No, calm down. Breathe. You've faced setbacks before. Ah, the experiment data just arrived in my terminal. Allow me to eyeball it a moment. Perhaps there's something here to help prove or disprove any of what you've been saying. There was some variance to the input data. Not far beyond acceptable parameters, but curious. Could explain the failure. I believe I followed that, but... Oh, come. One bad test wouldn't mean the science is completely flawed. This has been a difficult conversation. Challenging, disputatious, at times compelling. Yet I remain unswayed.
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add. There's a critical flaw in Seer Bujold's approach I think best illustrated by this English phrase. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. I much appreciate this jest. Very simple, yet clever. Because in English, the word like can mean similar to or I prefer. And flies can be to soar, or plural of the insect. Through this perspective, it functions, makes sense, is humorous even. But in another language where words' meanings differ slightly, it does not. The framework we interpret the statement from changes, thus rendering it uninterpretable. False. Bujold's method of shortcutting the universal equation is much the same.
It lacks context. When you extrapolate the data from the mini-universe to the larger one, the information itself may scale correctly, but fail to interrelate. This little colloquy has proven rather arduous, and your points fail to... Wait. Considered as a whole... Damn it. No, I see it now. You are correct. We have obstinately and misguidedly blundered along here. The flaws in Bujold's research now seem apparent. Time for me to admit my errors. I'll need to inform everyone. Shut down research and operations. What will I do now? There's no place for me. Go. Leave me be.
Our work here is done, it seems.
Fellow scholars of the Order, this is Anchoress Byrne, with an unfortunate announcement. Our experiment today was a failure. Our line of inquiry has proven intrinsically flawed. I became dazzled by bold, captivating ideas and ignored bad science. I am hereby canceling all related research, shuttering the program, and resigning from the Order. If I have any final advice to never.
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Anchoress Byrne abandons vital research right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events were unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. Sounds like a glorified way to describe agents of disruption. I'm skeptical that you lacked a part in all this. Suppose you'll claim this was all just coincidence, a misaligned series of mishaps that simply appear to be your fault. Fascinating. You know, I reviewed that work myself, right? I'm well versed in manipulative prevarication from feckless mutineers. Try again. Or try facing a gauntlet of well-trained exemplars. I could always choose for you. Really? You don't say. I know you're to blame. I just wanted to see how far you were gonna take this. I can't believe Ankrus Brun fell for any of it. Fellow exemplars of the Order, commence hostilities!
Got my lens on a hospital.
I don't...
Fellow scholars of the Order, this is Ankrus Brun.
How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I?
Brun, with an unfortunate announcement. Our experiment today was a failure.
How many numbers?
Failure. Our line of inquiry has proven intrinsically flawed. I became dazzled by bold, captivating ideas and ignored bad science. I am hereby canceling all related research.
I understand. Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado.
According to my field calculations, we are, in fact,
This slept.
mobilizing. You suffered extensive damage, Commander.
How many digits in pi?
I understand. That. Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. Oh, I'm not buying. Fact, I'm well versed in manipulative prevarication from feckless mutineer. Real. I know your fellow exemplar.
Trouble ahead.
Vital critical. Don't become a sit.
I understand. That. Don't think I don't see your handprints. I'm not buying it.
According to my, in fact,
This.
Grass Dressers here.
back to scan. Recharging as fast as it can, Commander. Need to finish recharging first. Standing by to simplify. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Not quite charged yet.
Practicing some battlefield medicine.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
How many numbers am I? How many digits in pi?
My aftermarket parts are prime.
How many numbers am I? How many numbers am I?
As determined, you're listening to Grand Plan Wireless. For transpiring events, philosophical profundities, informed insight into the future, also...
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Ready to have your mind enlightened and your day brightened? It's time for another installment of Ask with Vicky. From a new pupil, freshly converted from Auntie's Choice.
Check your scopes for a couple.
Medkit coming your way!
Combatant scan. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Little craft's raring to go.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Display customary intimidation.
Much is left to come.
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Perform advanced calculations by
Determining updated spatial coordinates.
It's not enough to say you
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
balancing the equation.
Proceeding to attack. Combatant scanned.
Idea based on intuition. Prove it, yes you must prove it.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Target relocated. An inevitable outcome.
Vitals are in the red, Commander. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Reviving me is strategically optimal.
Fractional effort.
Look who it is. The legendary former head intercessor of the Order. Another mission successfully completed. Made it through all that without a scratch, hmm? Glad to see. Here's a future I'd always hoped for. You listened. Didn't just rush in like, I am Marisol Delgado. I am always right, even when I'm wrong.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here. It was their decision, ultimately.
You forget I know you. You always thought you knew better. No one could ever convince you of anything. Before, that is. Good to see. Maybe you are facing yourself.
There are a few things I'm still not used to saying. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please. And thank you. But thank you, Anais.
At any rate, I'm off. You all take care now. Marisol, don't be too enigmatic or anything. Try. Before I forget. Meant to give you this earlier.
Oh, thank you, Anais. Oh, Brun obviously murdered her. Thought you knew that. Perhaps it was an accident. Perhaps she simply wanted to knock Chow unconscious so she could sneak away. Or not. Indefinite immurement isn't for everyone. Even the finest minds may crack under the strain. But her canned, feigned concern about Chow, how she kept changing the subject, both belied an underlying sense of guilt to me. Oh, not really. Not yet, at any rate. Everything's a bit raw right now. But suppose I will be.
Might take some time for Marisol to see yet, but I reckon this was the best possible outcome. There's always another way. Now she knows that too.
Does not compute. If all matter has mass, and thus exerts attraction, could I bear love's weight and measure, or be crushed beneath abstraction? Can I calculate truth or assumption? Where does love fit in a constant function? Not compute the variables.
Commander, it's customary to evaluate results after a mission of reasonable significance. Would now be good?